Another practical example, Doc. We have been talking about this for years. The taxes on petroleum products. Is this not a time to review the taxes on petroleum products?
You mean downward?
If we can't do it now, yes.
The economy will collapse further.
Don't tell me that. I disagree.
Why?
Because you can balance the equation by cutting expenditure. Okay. Because there are always two sides.
Okay.
Of course, if you want to keep the current status quo, you keep over 700 presidential staffers, over 80 ministers, triple, quadruple deputies. What do we need 4 deputies at NADMO for? What do we need 3 deputies at SNIT for?
NADMO has 4 deputies.
Yes. What do we need that for? I have here the Auditor General's report. I've been serializing the content. Look, it's so depressing. The secretariat that we have created. Page 200 of this Auditor General's report on general government. Doc, you will be shocked to hear that when we were told that the Ministry for Special Development Initiative is being collapsed to cut down costs, we went to create a secretariat at the presidency, put a coordinator in charge, Napaga Tia. And if you look at their compensation, according to the Auditor General, what he's found out in 2021, compensation has shot up from less than $1 million. It was 977,000. It shot up to 358,164,828.
No.
Yes.
What are you saying?
Compensation for special development initiatives secretariat under the presidency.
It was what?
It was 977,000.
In which year?
In the 2020 budget. In just 2020.
Less than $1 million.
Yes. We've added 357 million to it. Let me.
357 million.
Yes.
Compensation.
Yes, compensation. That's what the
for how many human beings?
I've been asking for explanation since yesterday.
No, but this is ridiculous.
Yes, very ridiculous.
How can 1 million become 300 and something million?
That is it.
Just compensation.
Just compensation. You can read it here. Compensation.
Is it an error?
Page 200, and it is online.
Is it an error?
It's here. 358 million. Page 200.
From where?
Where's the compensation?
Compensation. There's a head note. Compensation. Special Development Initiatives. 358,164,820.
And where is the previous one?
The previous one you find in the 2020 budget.
Okay.
Appendix 7.
Okay.
2020 budget. It's online.
So compensation for the special initiatives.
When it was a ministry, it had just 26 people.
Yes.
Under Hawa Kumsin.
Yes.
26.
Yes.
And it was about 977,000.
That would be the ministry.
The ministry.
But would this not include?
But we said we had collapsed the ministry.
But would this not then include the belts? So you have northern, middle.
Was it not included under the ministry? So
300 million.
Yes, 358 million. That's what the Auditor General has found out. So when we say that the expenditure side of things can be worked on
for a year,
yes. Auditor General's report. This report, my brother, is scary. We said that the senior minister no longer exists, isn't it? Is that not what we're told?
Yes.
Yet we are keeping his office. The Auditor General has found out. And we spend about 1.9 million. What are people still doing in that senior minister's office? What are they doing there? So we deceive people that, we've collapsed the secretariat or the ministry. And yet people are there drawing salaries. Their compensation
for the year 2021.
2021. Office of a Senior Minister, compensation was 148,793. They had goods and services, can you imagine? Goods and services of 1.83 million and 1.9 million, 86,000. Imagine what that money can do. Then we have a Ghana Health Service. We have a Ministry of Health. President Akufo-Addo created a COVID-19 secretariat. The Auditor General has discovered that. We didn't know in Parliament that apparently a COVID-19 secretariat was established.
We knew about a task force.
Yes, we knew about a task force, which they said was ministers coming together because you need a coordinated approach, which we agree. Coordinated approach, Minister of Health, Minister for Defense, Interior, transport and all of that. Apparently, it was another opportunity to create a new bureaucracy which still exists up to now. They are drawing salaries. Their compensation alone is 928,478 at the office of the president. We gave them goods and services. We gave them goods and services of 3.7 million. So far, they have spent 21,608,343. These are the things that must go. So when people say that, oh, if you reduce the taxes on fuel, do you want the government to collapse? I'm saying there's so much waste in the system. The Auditor General is telling us that between 2017 and 2021, financial irregularities, malfeasance, corruption, is about 50 billion, far more than we can get from the IMF. We are chasing the IMF for just $3 billion. So you go through these Auditor General's reports, my brother, it's sickening. It's sickening. Offices that can go, that should not exist. And this is expenditure. Doc, it's expenditure. It's not, the Auditor General is not talking about projection or allocations. What has been spent? And Doc, do you know that in this 2021 Auditor General's report on general government, at page 6, the Auditor General confirms. You remember we put out Penoforiate's letter, the illegal withdrawal from the Consolidated Fund to build the President's Cathedral.
Yes.
What we put out was the request letter for the release of the money. The Auditor General confirms in this report that indeed the money was released. At page 6, you have your National Cathedral, item 22, expenditures by government for flagship programs.
So the cathedral is a flagship program.
Can you imagine?
Okay.
Flagship program.
Right.
And this time, 142,762,500 Ghana cedis. The money spent. And yet, what we have there is just some galamsey sites. We haven't paid the people we demolished their properties. They are now in court. They are in court. Yes, judgment debt is looming. And 142 million confirmed, spent, according to the Auditor General, page 6 of the 2021 report on general government. So, our public finances is in a mess. Total mismanagement. People were spending like there's no tomorrow. You remember, Doc, for about 2 years, I was on the president on his choice of chartered travels. That there's a presidential jet, use it. He wouldn't listen. Tried all kinds of theatrics, including a meet me there, pretending he was traveling commercial from here. Then asked the chartered jet to meet him. 20,000 euros an hour. Now, see where we are. I'm sure at today's exchange, that will be more than 50 million cedis that we have blown. So, we are where we are because of bad leadership, profligacy, recklessness, people running public affairs as if, there's no tomorrow. We can't be bothered. And you see, leaders must remember that there are consequences for their actions. Now today, look at the mess. Let's see how people transport commuters are struggling. They can't pay fares. See the level of frustration, the level of anger.